The Viking Age was full of real and mythical warriors whose names still resonate in the modern world. In this video we're going to look at 5 of the toughest Vikings. They didn't choose the Viking life chose them. Gunnar was the hero of the Icelandic saga, the Saga of Burnt Jarl, a bloodthirsty tale of revenge. He was ambidextrous and used both hands in fighting. Whilst his swordsmanship was not so fast, 3 seemed to slash through the air at once. Not only that, but he was adept with a bow and arrow and able to jump his own height even in full armour. Gunnar spent a lot of time raiding the coasts of Norway and Denmark, during which time he killed 2 men from the same family and the rest of their kinsmen came after him. Although he was able to hold off the attackers using his bow, the string broke. Gunnar asked his wife to use her hair as string, but she refused after he had slapped her, and the men overwhelmed and killed him. Eric was a murderer who was exiled from Norway to Iceland. He settled then, but again murdered several other men and was exiled for 3 more years. However, he wasn't lazy and spent his exile exploring. During this time he sailed west and discovered Greenland. He returned to Iceland and gathered men and women in a great fleet and set sail back to Greenland. Only half of the ships made the journey, and Eric set up a farmstead at Brattahlid. He declared himself the chieftain of the newly settled land and had a daughter and 3 sons, one of which was Leif the Lucky, who went on to discover North America. Ragnar was most likely mythical, but his legend was, well, legendary. In order to impress a princess, the 15-year-old Ragnar destroyed a poisonous snake infestation by wearing snake-proof trousers. They were made from animal skin, sand and boiling tar. This earned him the nickname Hairy Breeches. Ragnar then raided France and was later paid a ransom by Charles the Bold of £7,000 of silver not to sack Paris. Ragnar was later shipwrecked on the coast of England, captured and executed by being thrown ironically into a pit of vipers. Typical for the son of Ragnar Lothbrok, Ivar was also fearless, and although he had a condition that meant his bones broke easily, he was not afraid of fighting. He would be carried into battle on a shield where he would use his bow and arrow. He took the throne of Dublin in 856 and then later led the great heathen army to England. After capturing York, Ivar, in vengeance for his father's death, had King Alla blood-eagled, where his back was carved into the shape of wings and his heart, lungs and ribs were cut out. Ivar then went to capture East Anglia, using the king there as target practice before beheading him. Finally, Ivar returned to Dublin and spent the rest of his days as a king there. Eorl was a warrior poet who composed his first poem at the age of 3. However, he was also an unruly kid. When he was 7, Eorl was cheated by another boy, so he went home, returned with an axe, which he used to split the boy's head open from his skull to his teeth. His fury continued into adult life, and his murder rate was so high that he was forced to flee from Norway when the king decided enough was enough. The outlaw life suited Eorl, and he plundered and pillaged, even taking on 11 men alone, tearing their throats with his teeth and gouging out their eyes. Despite a lifetime of bloodshed, Eorl lived into his 80s. He died after he killed his slave, who had helped him bury his treasure.